Coming in at number 10, we have the fire ghost. Wildfires are pretty terrifying things, and they can and will absolutely destroy homes and livelihoods. The past few years have been particularly bad for wildfires across North America. In 2016, a wildfire swept through dry land in Idaho. The fire spread to Jeanette Cadwell's 50,000-acre land in Henry Creek. The land was visited by a fireman who told the Caldwells that they had to evacuate their ranch and that their cabins were more than likely going to burn. Mr. Caldwell snapped this picture, which his wife then shared on Facebook. We see the fire burning, then we see a fireman to the right, but what is that behind him? Jeanette wrote on the image that she shared on Facebook, "Check out this photo. If you look closely, you can see the fireman's guardian," which is what she called the picture. The fireman's guardian turns out to be a ghostly figure floating above the tree. Jeanette said that she loves it. Now, it seems that the Caldwell's family were actually not afraid of the apparition. They think that the fireman ghost saved their property. He was like a guardian angel. Coming in at number 8, we have the wedding guest. Oh, I know, we're absolutely all here for that fur hooded cape. I love it. The 1970s are my favourite aesthetic era. So anyway, this image is of a bunch of wedding guests amid celebrating a friend's big day. I literally could not see anything wrong with this image at all until my attention was drawn to the tall gentleman on the right leg. Shall we zoom in a little here? Oh, little feet behind him, and if we scroll up, peek a bloody boo, this is horrifying. Do you want some big red circles just to highlight this point? Okay, there you go, and that's enough for me. Please remove this ghost from my life, mind, and memory forever. Coming into number 7, we have Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Okay, little side note for you. Did you know that the evil queen Snow White never actually said "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all"? Apparently, she said "magic mirror on the wall." Fact for you. Facts on facts. Anyway, here is a pretty young lady taking a selfie. We've all been there. I've certainly been there. If I had to guess a year for this picture, I would go with circa 2006. It kind of looks 2006-ish to me. I wonder what year the demon in the background is from though. What demon, Rebecca? The one in the mirror. Ah! Coming into number 6, we have Capos Forehead Hungry. Hungry doesn't get enough airtime on most amazing top 10, so I am showing you an image taken in Capos Forehead Hungary, which is around a 2.5 drive south of Budapest. Did you guys know that Hungary is a landlocked country? I never really thought about it until I was scripting this video and I googled it, and then it's like, yep, there it is, they don't have any sea. Anyway, this picture was taken in 1943, and I'm always here for a bit of 1940s vibes. It seems that the image was shared to the internet by Sitsgeti Goyongi. They said that the image is of their mum and was taken by their father. They added, "A little girl is standing in the background and she has no arms or no face." They said that they thought it was a ghost or a demon and said that they have the original photograph at home, and I know what you're thinking, show us the original. Here it is! What is happening? That little girl freaks me out. Is she the child of Slender Man? She doesn't have any more arms and he has like tentacle arms, so maybe they can shoot out. My imagination runs wild when I do these videos, I need to be stopped. Coming into number 5, we have the haunted house. Some people think it's weird to take pictures of your home, but honestly, like everyone does it, right? It seems that Paul Sikuro uploaded this image to the internet after his son took it with his camera. His house is in England, and it caught the attention of British media in 2015 after this picture was taken. If you look closely at the window on the left, there is a ghostly apparition peeping out. Mr. Sikuro said, "I was the only person in the house. We're astonished by this image, to say the least. We've lived in this house for about 15 years, and it is a former parsonage." They said that actually they have had strange experiences in the house, as had the previous owner. It certainly seems as if Paul might have caught a ghost on camera. More ghosts at number 4, we've got ghosts for days. This is the samurai ghost. When you come across an online article with the headline, "Has dismembered samurai ghost photobomb little girl's holiday photo," you know that you've actually struck internet gold. So it seems a young Canadian girl was on holiday with her family when her parents snapped a picture of her in sushi at the Kanagawa beach in Japan. Can you see anything wrong with this picture? It seems as if her father snapped the image on his Samsung Galaxy, but then spotted what looks like a pair of boots in the background. The image was shared on Reddit, and the poster said, "Nobody was around when the photo was taken, and certainly nobody was behind her." Her father took about 5 photos of her in this spot over the period of about 2 minutes. Now, one Redditor who responded said that the boots look like samurai boots, which is really odd because it seems that actually the place where the picture was taken is on the site of an ancient samurai tomb. Terrifying. More ghosts at number 3, we have the beer flood ghost. I absolutely love going to the theatre. I go to the theatre as often as I can. Often when I go to the theatre, I like to take a selfie of me and my theatre going pal. Auditorium selfies for absolute days, why not? I love it. Well, what can you see in this picture? Have you seen it yet? Yep. Oh, hello there, ghoul. What's your beef? Why are you looking so angry and cold? This fine pair's just trying to enjoy a performance of We Will Rock You and you've snuck up behind them. There is actually some backstory here and it's pretty interesting. It seems that the theatre that the pair were in is the Dominion Theatre in London. I've been a number of times. A lot of London theatres are rumoured to be haunted and the Dominion Theatre is no stranger to a ghost story. The theatre ushers that work there will tell you that there are several apparitions, but the one in the photo is rarely spotted. Note how she's kinda blue? Well, it seems like the girl in the picture could be Eleanor Cooper, a young barmaid who drowned at the theatre back when it was a brewery in 1814. An accident at the brewery meant that 1.5 million litres of beer was spilled, flooding the brewery and nearby streets. 7 people died and she was one of them. Now the brewery was demolished in 1922 and in its place stands the Dominion, but are some of the spirits still there? Also, drowned in beer. Gonna need to think about that for a while. Finally, I want to end this video on a kind of slightly higher note, so we're going with back to school at number 1. The 7th grade is a big deal, right? My mum used to take pictures of me before my first day of school on most years. It's just great to reminisce back to those key years of my life. That is exactly what was happening for Brooke Mills as her mum took her summer is over back to school image. Actually, this literally happened yesterday as of the time of recording this video and it's gone viral. Why? Well, you'll see. Brooke from Alabama is looking really nice in her picture, but I'm sorry, what is that in the background? That's right, it's a snake. It's a literal snake. It's very camouflage, so good job, snaky friend, good job. It's kind of blending into the tree. The snake looks like its head is poised and it's actually about to go for Brooke. The image was posted on Facebook by the girl's dad and promptly went viral. Her mother spoke to WRBI News and said, "Lord, it was scary. I got 2 pictures and said, 'Show your teeth please, baby.' Then I saw the snake. I said, 'Brooke, come here.' And she looked at me like, 'I'm not done taking pictures, Mum.' So then I said, 'Brooke, get away from the tree now.' I said it calmly, but I'm sure my face said it all. Oh my goodness. So actually, I don't know what kind of snake this is, but it looks like a rattlesnake. If you know, let me know.
Alright, up next, and at number 9 is this picture. Thankfully there are arrows because I don't know if you guys would ever have noticed this creepy eye staring into your soul. What is this person doing hiding underneath the bed frame? Hopefully it's someone she knows just playing a prank on her and it's not like a creepy predator lurking underneath her bed, you know, waiting for her to go to sleep. I don't know what's about to happen next, but let's try to move on quickly. At number 8 is this tiny troll. No, I'm not talking about the baby, I'm talking about the little leprechaun sprinting in the background. You can most likely assume that this is Photoshop, but it's still a very scary and creepy picture. Imagine if these trolls were real, would you keep them as pets? Or would you have tiny troll traps where you just trap them and kill them? Moving into the number 6 spot with this creepy picture, if you guys weren't already afraid of water, well maybe you are now. What am I talking about? Well, why did this person who took this picture, why did they warn this girl or run away? Instead they decided to snap a picture of this gigantic mammoth-sized alligator. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do in order to post a good picture on Instagram, it seems like these days. But you know what, in this instance, this person's crossing the line. You gotta save a person, not try to, oh, let's become famous off this moment. Seriously though, alligators are fast. They probably didn't even make it out there alive. Now in number 5, we have this mirror picture. I know someone who is terrified of looking in a mirror in the dark, but this takes things to a whole new level. Do you guys see the creepy old ghost reflection in the mirror? This is not okay. This isn't a time to continue applying your mascara. What you have to do in this situation is you have to run and run as fast as you can before your soul is taken away. Things get even scarier at number 3 with this creepy ghost. These 2 friends look like they're having a great time using their webcam. However, they're not alone. Check out the creepy ghost popping her head out of the background. I mean, what the heck? She wants to get in on the fun too, but no, ghost, you're not a part of this fun. This just looks so creepy and this doesn't sit well with me. So let's move on to number 2. We have this picture of a ghost trying to steal someone's soul. I mean, just leave our soul alone. This is beyond scary because it looks like the ghost is actually touching the girl on the right. It's bad enough when you see a ghost in the distant background, but when they're right there getting getting their hands all up in your business, that's a whole new level of scary. Finally making our way into number 1 spot, we have this picture of a creepy reflection. So another reflection. This is not normal and this is not okay at all. It's not okay in my books. Why is this reflection laughing like some satanic demon? These types of pictures freak me out because there's no explanation for these kinds of things. Number 9, let's see what we have. Okay, so we have this guy who wanted to pose for this like awesome scenic picture in front of this waterfall. Well, little did he know, or the cameraman know, that there was also a ghost lady in the background, and if they stayed at this waterfall long enough, they wouldn't still be alive. This is just like the creepiest thing ever. Is that even a person? If it is, who dresses like the Grudge with a long white dress? Maybe the Grudge was getting married and this is where she wanted to take her pictures. This is pretty scary, so let's move on. Number 8, we have this redhead girl who fell asleep while taking a selfie. Everything seems to be red in this picture, her shirt, her hair, and even the curtains in the background. Well, also in the background, it's so creepy because you can see a man's face on the TV. But the only thing is, the TV isn't even on. It's kind of a blurry picture. It looks like a couple went out camping because it looks like there's a tent in the background. I'm not sure if the couple has a kid, but there's a little girl just staring at the camera. The ghost girl knows that there was a picture being taken, but you know what? She didn't care. Also, I wonder if this couple heard like weird noises at nighttime or something. Or they should also look into if someone died at this campsite. Number 3, this one is easy to tell what's scary in the background because just look over to the right. Scary, I know. I might be afraid of clowns now. This is just such a scary photo bomb. Why is this clown doing that? It's just trolling this picture. And why is there a random clown guy driving around in a white van? I mean, what is he up to? Maybe he is the kidnapper who's on the bench in the other picture, or maybe he's about to rob a bank. I bet after they took this picture and they looked at it, they probably called 911. I would be freaking out. I'd probably call my parents and be like, you gotta come get us. And at number 2, I'm gonna see if you guys can figure this one out. Can you guys see what's scary in the background? Okay, let's take a look at this picture together. We have this, assuming, you know, very happy couple. They're both smiling for this picture and they have the angle just right. So they know what they're doing. And in the background, you can see the reflection. Okay, did you guys see the scary yet? Or should I help you out and explain this one? In the background, you can see the guy's reflection. Well, it's correct. That's how you should see him in the mirror. Well, for the girl, we're seeing her face, which is the creepiest thing ever. I'm not making fun of her face, but why are we seeing her face if the reflection should actually be showing the back of her head? I'm not even sure how to explain this one, but let's move on from this one before she haunts our dreams. Okay, at number 1, I personally think I've saved the best for last, and that's because this one is just super scary. Okay, here's the picture right here. Here's a woman in the water just looking around for something, I don't know. Little does she know that someone, or I should say something, has been looking for her. Take a look near her legs, just to the right. There's a huge crocodile or alligator. She is so super close to it. I really do hope nothing happened to this woman, but that truly is a very scary photo.
Okay, at number 10, I'm looking at it in the monitor here. What is this? How is this guy wearing a mask? I'm very confused right now. It looks elastic, but I don't know how he got it on his head. And I know I should be focusing on the weird figure in the back in like the 17th century clothes who looks 100% ghost-like, but I'm too focused on this guy's face to even be scared by what the hell's happening in the background. Okay, apparently he cut open a bouncy rubber ball and covered his face with it, which I don't even understand how he did, but props to him. First of all, I'm impressed. Secondly, now we can talk about the ghost in the back. Okay, if I was a ghost and I came back from the dead and saw this human I was haunting pulling this kind of crap, I'd be like, no, send me back to the grave. I did not sign up for this. Okay, at number 9, we have this girl doing her makeup in the mirror. This is a very 2007-esque picture, I feel, and it seems pretty normal. I can't really see anything. Scanning. Let's see what I can find. Oh, okay, in the mirror. Okay, so the girl is doing her makeup and there's a very faint face in the mirror. It's not really a face, it's more like a demon ghost sort of thing, and it's very freaky that this is in her room. Is it her room? Is it someone else's room where this figure is haunting this room? I'm very confused. But the ghost looks absolutely fuming, like, how dare you use a shade of blush? Do you have any idea what you're doing? Like, I don't know why this thing is angry, but I feel very sorry for the girl because she's just innocently just there doing her makeup, really. Getting haunted. Okay, at number 8 is this portrait of this Asian woman. I think it's just a picture of her. Okay, seemingly this picture looks fine, but it's actually not because I just saw her feet. Wow, okay, at first glance, I was like, there's a mirror behind her. Usually with these pictures, the reflection would be like her own face looking back at her or something like that. And I just thought the freaky thing would be in the mirror, but it's actually her feet. And I know in like some Asian cultures, it's like aesthetically nice looking to have really small feet, and then like they do feet binding as well. But I just assumed your feet would just stay really small. I didn't know they would actually change shape like that. I mean, like how are her toes even folded over like that? And like her big toe kind of just looks like a cone. Like how does she wear shoes? That's what I really want to know. But also that must be really painful, so I really do feel for her. I'm sorry that I had to use her as an example. Okay, at number 7 now we have a woman posing with her dog, and the dog really just doesn't look like it wants to be in the photo at all. The woman's so happy posing. The dog's like, no human, I just don't want to be here. Do you not understand? And I mean, is that the freaky thing, like the dog's eyes? I'm confused. Okay. So there's a figure behind the glass section of her front door. There's just like someone on her front porch just there. Why do these figures always look like they're people from a different century? Like they never look like modern people just haunting you and lurking around. It's always people from like 40 decades ago. Like I don't understand. That's probably why the dog looks like he's just at himself, because he probably sees and senses and feels the ghost. I've never had a dog, but apparently when they bark at nothing continuously, they're actually barking at like spirits or ghosts. Is that true? Let me know. I've only ever had cats and they don't do that. Okay, at number 6, we have this girl sitting in her dorm room, it seems. And I want to say dorm room because this sort of looks like the bed I had in my dorm, but it could be her house. I mean, who knows? I mean, this seems pretty wholesome. I don't know what I'm meant to be looking at here, but I feel like I say that every time and then I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so I'm scanning. Okay, so there's this guy's face wedged in the corner of her bed, like just under her mattress, and his face is just poking out. If that was me and I saw this photo afterwards, I would move directly out of that room, out of that house, do not pass go, do not collect 200, and just never look back. Of course, this is photoshopped, but I mean, I hope. Fingers crossed it's Photoshop, but that's just so creepy. Okay, at number 5, we have a girl taking a selfie. Okay, what is happening on the back window here? I feel bad. The selfie is actually pretty nice, but how did that guy even get there? I mean, why is he there? I have a lot of questions. He also looks like a demon, but he could also equally just look like he just fallen onto the window, or maybe he chose to jump onto it. I don't really know, but I'm surprised the girl didn't notice mid-picture. I mean, it looks like she was taking a selfie, so in a selfie, she should have definitely seen the person behind her, but maybe she was doing it old school and just like turning the phone around. Who knows? But either way, she probably straight up screamed after checking the photos. Definitely not Instagram worthy. Okay, at number 4, we have a really old school photo of some kind of group of girls. Maybe it's actually a school photo. I actually don't know. Literally nothing seems out of the ordinary at first glance, and it actually took me a very long time to figure out what was wrong with this picture. I know now. My eyes have been opened. It's actually this random hand on the girl's shoulder, the girl on the far right. I thought the hand was from the girl behind her. Her arms are actually crossed, so it's obviously not her hands. And then I just realized the girl with a hand on her shoulder just is not even looking at the camera. She's looking elsewhere, on another vibe, on another level, with her decapitated hand ghost friend just not caring about what the hell is going on. Power to you, but also your ghost friends are creepy. Okay, at number 3 now, we have this picture that was apparently captured on a hospital CCTV camera. And the woman in the picture apparently died the same day this photo was taken, but I actually just don't see a woman on the bed. I mean, we have the massive dark figure on the bed. I mean, look at her limbs. Gender unknown, species unknown. It has like a massive bum that goes into its long legs. The feet don't even look like feet. They look like claw, hand, I don't know. I just don't know what to make of this. And the worst part is, it doesn't even look photoshopped. That's the scary part. Maybe it's her spirit that's finally just released into the ether, and that's what her spirit was. At number 2, we have a picture from someone's visitor camera outside their house. And this freaked me the hell out. I mean, what is up with this guy's eyes? I've actually seen this one before, and apparently this is 100% real. So the guy who owns the house was basically asleep, but he kept getting notifications on his phone that the doorbell was detecting a visitor, and he sees the footage the next day and sees this dude. Just imagine, you're sleeping in your house, safe and sound. No. You need to set the scene, have some creepy music in the background. You're sleeping. You have this guy wandering around around your door at God knows what hour of the night, probably crazy, probably could kill you, and you find this the next day. I'm shook.
Kicking off the list at number 10, the creation of Adam. We'll start this list off with one of the most famous paintings of sculptor and artist Michelangelo. The creation of Adam. You've seen it at one point or another, or you've seen it referenced at one point or another. It was painted back in 1508. The poster of E.T. was inspired by this painting. With little hands, little phone home. Memes have been on a whole new level thanks to Michelangelo in this piece. But what's the dark background here exactly? Perhaps the plethora of naked folks in the sky, all bunched up together? Not exactly. It was known that back in the 1500s, Michelangelo used to dissect bodies, all in the name of art. Of course, why not? He would create anatomic artwork. That's why his creation of Adam kind of looks like he's crawling out of an organ. To be honest, I never noticed it at first. Now, I can't unsee it. That's definitely the inside of a body. The Sistine Chapel has many dark pieces of art. I may or may not mention another. Number 9, Bill Clinton. We've all heard that clip downloading music growing up. You know, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Like, bro, I'm trying to listen to Christmas music. What is this? Whose voice is this? What did I download? Why is this computer not working anymore? I'm so grounded. Back in 2006, former US President Bill Clinton showed off this beautiful portrait of himself done by the incredible artist John Nelson Shanks. As far as portraits go, this is beautiful. The art is beautiful and all that. But that pose, I mean, I don't know. Something's off about it. His stance is like, let me redo it. Like, he just looks uncomfortable, you know? He doesn't look ready yet. Well, that's because the shadow on the left side of the portrait, it's meant to represent Monica Lewinsky. I'm not even lying to you. I knew it. I felt like there was some darkness in here. I'm like, oh, something's off here. There's some shady history around. Pun intended. The artist himself admitted that this was indeed the case. He used the dress shape as symbolism to the scandal while he was creating the artwork. I thought the dark background here was Bill's pants, but I was wrong. That's why we're here. We like to educate. Number 8, the Madonna with Saint Giovanni. For this next one, we'll be taking a look at a painting from the 15th century by artist Domenico Ghirlandaio. This painting is currently in the Hall of Hercules in Palazzo Vecchio in Florence. Also, if I'm saying any of these names wrong, you can tell me. It's probably gonna be a lot of them. I'm trying. The painting shows the Virgin Mary, infant Jesus, of course, with a six-pack for some reason. And over her right shoulder, we can see this object floating in the sky. Let's take a closer look at that, shall we? What is that? Is that a drone? A magnetic balloon? A weather balloon? Those weren't around then. What's even more interesting is that a man is looking up at the sky at this object. He's even covering his eyes, shielding the sun to try and get a better look. Man's going blind to try and see what's hovering above him. It's always a good sign as well when your dog is barking at something next to you in the sky. Art historians believe that the object is an angel resembling a cloud, while others believe that it's a clear sign of alien visitors. I'm others. I'm like, oh, E.T., the whole thing, this is starting to make more sense now. What do you guys think? Was this the 15th century version of drawing the sun at the top corner of your painting? Or did this mystery artist just document UFO footage with his own brush? Number 7, Cafe Terrace at Night. Upon first glance, you can tell this is a piece done by the fabulous Vincent van Gogh. The blue tones, the streaks. I did the Van Gogh experience downtown Toronto and it was mesmerizing, honestly. The floor is moving, I was like falling into the walls and everything, it was great. While his 1888 oil painting, Cafe Terrace at Night, looks like a quiet late night summer dream, it's actually pretty dark when you start looking closely. I'm not a Van Gogh expert by any means, but Jared Baxter, he is. Back in 2015, Jared brought forth this idea that Cafe Terrace at Night was really Van Gogh's version of The Last Supper. This figure in the center with long hair and 12 surrounding individuals, one of which is slipping into darkness. It checks out. He also says there are hidden crucifixes in this painting. I knew there was something spiritual about that Van Gogh exhibit. I knew it all around me. I'm like, is that a floating crucifix? Where'd it go? It's gone. Number 6, Medusa. Another one of the most recent paintings on today's list is Medusa by Caravaggio. It was done back in 1597. Crazy that that's a recent painting. That's so long ago in my head. And this photo, I'll admit right off the bat, is a little bit haunting. It's a little gory, it's a little graphic. But where does this idea come from? What compels a person to spend this long on a scary painting? The entire time I'd be like, We all know the story of Medusa, the woman with, snakes for hair. When you look at them, you turn to stone and then you're stuck forever and it's horrible. Well, this is a painting that really captures her essence, her beauty, really just, her complexion is so nice, her snake complexion. The snakes really add to the moment, without taking away. The blood oozing out of her neck also draws the eye. It's a nice Oh, it's a nice accent. This painting was meant to be a depiction of the defeat of Medusa, obviously. The legend goes that Perseus, who is the son of Zeus and Danae, was given a shield by Athena. He took said shield to battle Medusa, and he managed to outsmart her by letting her catch a glimpse of her own reflection in that shield. Bam! You played yourself. Yeah, she turned herself into stone, and then this is when he took his sword out, and, you know, you can probably fill the rest in. You've seen Game of Thrones. A happy moment, perhaps? I don't know. Imagine having this in your home. I wouldn't sleep. That's terrifying to look at. Number 5, the Mona Lisa. No way she's on this list. What is she up to? How can the Mona Lisa possibly be on this dark messages list? She's literally just... she's chilling out, she's so calm. Another masterpiece from Da Vinci, coming from the 15th century. There's already been, of course, hundreds of theories surrounding this painting. Like perhaps she could have been pregnant, given her stance with the, you know, the hands doing the thing. And the veil over her shoulders, those were worn often by pregnant women during the Italian Renaissance. But back in 2011, a clue was found in the painting. Yeah, a clue, like we're national treasure all of a sudden. Silvano Vincetti supposedly found letters and numbers painted into her eyes. Teeny tiny microscopic numbers and letters. How fun is that? Yeah, I was at my desk earlier and my forehead was like touching my computer screen. I was like, really? Are you sure? I was looking, couldn't find anything. My eyes aren't that great. The L over her right eye stands for Leonardo, and in the other eye, there's a 72, the numbers 7 and 2. We believe so far this relates to Christianity and Judaism. 7, the creation of the world, and 2, the duality of men and women. Meanwhile, I'm over here drawing that really cool S. I think I nailed that, I'm not gonna lie. Number 4, The Ambassadors. This one got me, I'm not gonna lie, I got the creeps after this. The Ambassadors is a painting from 1533. I've seen this one before, as I'm sure you have at one point or another. Hans Holbein the Younger painted this lovely room with, you know, scholars. There's a globe, a mandolin, you know, to pass the time, help inspiration, as we all, that's why we get mandolins. We have one in the corner here at the studio. Chris whips it often. But at the bottom, we see an anamorphic skull. It makes you want to cock your head around almost. It doesn't seem to fit in properly. Like the angle of the skull is wrong. It looks like whenever I try and use Photoshop, it's just something's off. Experts believe this was done intentionally to remind us that death is around the corner. So when I was looking at this, I was like, why is that doing that? And I'm like, oh, death is around the haunting. Next. Number 3, The Old Guitarist. Any fans of Game of Thrones on here? Well, this next one gives off major White Walker vibes. The Old Guitarist is, well, exactly what you think. It's an old man, hunched over, white hair, playing a guitar. This would be creepy regardless, just on its own. But when Pablo Picasso was putting together this masterpiece back in the early 1900s, he had some tricks up his sleeve. At the end of the 1900s, in 1998, researchers used infrared on the painting. Again, national treasure style for some reason. And this time, it wasn't a hidden message, it was a hidden woman. Yeah, another woman was painted underneath the elderly man. So because this paint is naturally fading now, she's becoming more and more clear to see. That is so deep. That's the most deep thing. Am I into art? Am I enjoying art? Am I researching? This is fun. I like this. Number 2, Netherlandish proverbs. Back in 1559, Peter Bruegel the Elder, great name, created this oil painting, and we're still trying to unravel everything in here. In this painting, I mean, for one, it's massive. There's a lot going on. It's on display currently in the Gemälde Gallery in Berlin. It's got a lot going on, and when you really start to focus, you can see some weird going on in this painting. What is that guy doing? That guy's banging his head off the wall. Walter White's been throwing pizzas on the roof for some reason. That fish ate a bigger fish. This dude fell off an ox onto a donkey. What kind of heist was going on in this town? What is happening? Ah, I see. It's supposed to be horrible. Lovely. Proverbs were a hot topic back in the 1500s. Apparently, over 100 Dutch proverbs and idioms are seen in this painting. He also aimed to illustrate the stupidity of man, and given how much of a show this town looks like, I'd say Peter nailed it. And finally, number 1, the Arnolfini portrait. This one is the most impressive paintings on our list. I am a sucker for reflections. And for this one, we'll be looking at Jan van Eyck's painting from 1434. It's quite old, the oldest on our list. This is an oil painting titled the Arnolfini Portrait. It shows Giovanni da Niccolao Arnolfini, his wife, and a little doggo. In the background, that's where things get mysterious. There's a mirror, a painted mirror. It's been widely believed that Jan is in the painting themselves. We love an artist cameo, nice. I'm actually in that wall too. Believe it or not, you just can't see me yet. It hasn't been long enough. Also, written in Latin above the mirror, there's a message. A Latin message. Let's do it. The message reads, Jan van Eyck was here. 1434. That's gotta be the oldest blank was here of all time. Even older than Brooks was here from Shawshank Redemption. That was pretty old. A message like that with the artist hidden in the painting, that gives me goosebumps all around. And I'm not really entirely sure why.
And at number 9, we have this. We have a guy on a tombstone. Oh, and in the background there's like, I think it's the spirit or the ghost of the person in the tomb. Is that a tombstone? Is this a graveyard? This guy, maybe it was so dark at nighttime, this guy was so tired, he's like, this looks like a great place to sleep. What does that say? I can't really read. R.I.P.? Yeah, let's just sleep here tonight. Alright, moving on. Hopefully that ghost doesn't haunt us tonight. Let's move on to number 8. We have this. Is this real life right now? How does something like this even happen? At least the firefighter is there on the scene in case... how do you get this guy out? You definitely... I guess all you have to do is put a ladder there, right? And you can just climb right down. But I'm not sure how this guy got into the sticky situation. It's pretty terrifying. Hopefully he's okay. A little bit embarrassed, but let's move on. Alright, next up on our list, we have this image right here. It looks to be... Okay, it's a bunny rabbit. Oh, okay, so I'm seeing it. So I see there's a house here, and I was letting you guys know I'm live reacting to these pictures, and apparently this rabbit is massive, like huge in comparison to this house. I'm not even sure what is going on here. I'm definitely left with many questions on this one. If someone made that, that would have taken forever. Unless this is an illusion picture or something like that. I don't know how you would turn this into an illusion. Unless the house is fake and the house is tiny, the roads are small. I'm really confused with this one. Let's move on. Next up on our list, number 5, we have this very terrifying image. This is the last thing that I want to see on a doorbell camera. It looks to be the Ring doorbell, and this guy's in a mask. Something is about to go down. A crime is about to be committed. This guy is taping up the camera. I'm not sure what else is like about to happen. He's about to break into this house. And I don't know what's the point of taping up the camera if the camera's already seen you. Maybe more people are coming in, or maybe he just wants to take off his mask while he goes inside the house. I'm not sure what is going on in this picture, but this guy probably made it on the news the next day. Well, from the tape man, let's move on to number 4. We have this image of a girl sitting on a bench, and and in the background we got Slenderman. Is that Slenderman? Alright guys, let me zoom in on this. I'm not seeing this big enough. Yeah, that's Slenderman. That's for sure Slenderman. He's just staring at this woman. This woman's like, can you take a picture of me? And then she had no idea that happened until she went home and developed her film. Or I guess it's 2020, right? She just went home and looked at her camera on her phone. I don't know why I said she went and developed her film. She went to Walmart. Alright, from Slenderman to number 3, let's see what we have next. Alright, this can't be good. I know this is a Google Maps image, Google Earth image. I only know because of the arrows. You know when you zoom into something and you click on an arrow and it flies over and it goes right past where you actually wanted to see. There's a man with a gas mask on. He got caught. There's nothing he can do. I'm not sure what crime he committed or what crime he is going to commit. But this can't be good. Something is about to get gas. At our number 1 spot, we have this. All right, so we saved the best for last, and it's baseball season. Is that the Baltimore Orioles? And in the background, for some reason, we have Jack Sparrow. That's pretty damn terrifying. What is Pirates of the Caribbean, was it filmed in Baltimore? What is the connection with this one? I'm pretty terrified here because we got Jack Sparrow in the back of this picture. I believe that this is a genuine picture. I believe that this is a real picture. I mean, the colors and stuff, it doesn't look photoshopped unless they're really good at it. I don't know why someone would photoshop this, so I think it is pretty genuine.
All right, guys, coming at number 9.
That is ridiculous.
There's no way
He's
around
just gone.
this.
I don't think this is.
Why doesn't he just open the door and get out?
I don't think this is an optical illusion. This is just a man who.
I'm trying to find the optical illusions because I'm thinking, like, why?
So I understand. I kind of feel his pain here. He hasn't driven close enough to the toll booth, right?
It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
See, but I feel like that's happened to me before, but I've done like you undo your seatbelt and then you kind of just like push off the car.
The deep lean.
Like, why is he
Bless
full
him.
body
But
out
the thing is,
in the window?
He didn't need to open the door, did he?
No. Maybe he did. Bless him.
Or if he was gonna open the door, why wouldn't he just get out of the car? Like, why is he going through the window? He's just making it so much harder on himself, and it looks like he's stuck.
I want to know.
Like, there's not much room there now.
I really want to know where he's going, and I hope he has a lovely journey.
Next up at number 8, we have. Oh, do you guys see it?
Oh, there's a toilet in the background.
And a dog.
Oh, the dog's drinking from the bowl.
So I'm not gonna lie.
What a good boy.
I didn't see. I saw.
I've seen a lot of these online, and a lot of times would be like poop in the toilet. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I've seen the poop. I thought that was something different, and I was like, wow, that's.
What's happening? I was just gonna say, like, generally speaking, toilet selfies. I know that the lighting's great and everything, so you get that super duper bathroom lighting. Just like, don't do it. You never know what's in
I
the
never
background.
understood the bathroom selfie. Like I just. Number 6.
Oh, I love this.
Got the man with the lightsaber.
I love it. And the force is strong with this
we
one.
see it right away, eh?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yo, is he? Oh, he's not even holding. Oh, it's not even a pole. I thought he was at least
Nice.
No,
holding.
it's like it looks like it's just like a gap of light. Like it's just like maybe like the.
That's amazing
His
timing.
face makes it look fantastic as well. He's just like,
Yeah.
And just the way his hand is. But you can even see like his hand's like a little angle to the side, so you can tell he's holding the rope.
Young
But
Luke
still, like,
Skywalker.
that's incredible.
Isn't the new trailer for Star Wars just dropped? You guys seen
has
it?
it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I
I
haven't
heard
seen it
about it. I haven't
yet.
seen it.
Oh,
But
I
heard-
won't spoil
heard about
it. Watch it. Coming in at number 5, we have a bearded man, a lady.
Oh, it's her hair. She whips her hair
That
back
is
and
the
forth.
most unfortunate
How?
timing of a photo.
I know, because her teeth are going through that. Like, it looks like a beard. That is like the best timing. 1 in a million for sure. How does that even happen?
Unbelievable.
It's funny as well
Think it's
because,
Photoshopped?
like, you can tell that she's an attractive lady, but also would be a very attractive man.
Lady or man, or even lady with beard.
Hot lady with beard.
Okay, what if you met a really, really, really hot lady, but she
Yeah.
had a beard?
That's tough, huh?
So, I hope she's not watching this, but my math teacher was a woman and had a beard.
Was she a hot lady?
No, she just had a beard. And I always just like wondered like, I'm just curious as to like why this woman has a beard.
Maybe she wanted one, like Conchita First.
Well, I don't know, but she would shave it. Like she wouldn't like grow it, she would shave it.
Well, the question is, are you going on a date with a lady with a beard who's hot? Kim Kardashian with beard.
How much beard are we talking? Like me?
Like beard. Like,
It's like a bit of stubble, I could do it. If it was like me or you,
you can do a little stubble.
if it was me or you, that's pushing it for me. I don't know.
This is total BS. Like, girls can like go through life having smooth faces, but like, what if they want a beard too? Like, you get to have a beard and a
don't-
smooth face
I'll
if
be
you want
honest.
one.
I've had this for a very long time, and a lot of guys were always like, "You have a great beard," and I'm like,
do.
"Yo, this is a curse, man." I wanted to shave yesterday, and then I was like, I'll shave this morning. And then I woke up this morning, and I was like, "Oh, I'm too lazy to shave," and now I look like this. I don't have control over
My
this.
heart bleeds for you. You and your male privilege. Okay, we're looking at number 4 here. Oh, he's lost his belly. What is happening here?
Wait, I was very confused. Wow. Oh, what? This is just a half.
Do you think he
body.
just wasn't there, so they photoshopped him in, or like?
Wait, what?
I don't understand.
There's no possible explanation.
Unless it's like on a slope or something, and his belly's in the grass, and he's like,
I think this is just a Photoshop thing. I don't think it's
Like he looks photoshopped.
real.
he's got a nice
There's
beard.
there's no way.
That's a nice beard.
That's a pretty good beard.
So like if Kim Kardashian had that, actually, no, I wouldn't.
And coming in at number 3, the Holy Bible.
Signed copy.
Signed copy by Jesus himself.
I actually am really. I hope that that's a troll because I'm kind of here for it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Who signed it, Moses?
I saw before that in the fiction section at a bookstore, like on the internet, and I was like, wow, that is
Churro.
This is the best picture I've ever seen.
like unreal.
Who signed this?
Yeah.
Imagine a copy signed by Jesus, though. That'd be very valuable.
Wild. Man.
Okay, I'm just gonna go straight out and say whoever bought that
You
is
think someone
kind of
bought
an
this?
idiot. Like who was like, oh my god, great signed copy of the Bible.
And I got it for like $100.
Only 100. Like, this is crazy. It's proof he existed. Like, got a signature.
It's the big one. It's number 1. Okay, she's my queen, he's my king.
It should be switched.
Yeah. Unless she's
They
like,
screwed
unless
this one
it's
up.
like her talking about herself, you know, like she's my queen, me, and he's like, he's my king, me.
I don't
But
think
yeah.
that's what they meant.
I don't think
they
that's what they meant.
screwed this up.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Yeah. That's
Or maybe there are 2 other people out there with different shirts, and we're just looking at something.
Like the wrong.
Yeah, just the wrong. It's just gone very wrong, hasn't it? Although I will say, I've got some breakfast bar envy. I'd like a breakfast bar in my house, like
Oh,
one of those little
those little
hatches.
pass-through things?
Yeah,
That'd be lovely.
I'm here for both of their ripped. Like they're very ripped, as in trousers, not ripped.
Muscles.
Who knows what's going under that "He's My King" shirt?
he might be ripped, yeah.
He might be.
Nice 6-pack or
I
something.
mean, look, if he's well, really, it depends. If he's a king and she's the queen, I mean, it really depends here.
This really has been quite the adventure, hasn't it, lads?
Starting off this countdown, we have 1930s Halloween. Who here likes Halloween? Smash that like button if you do. And also let me know what your favorite costume is that you've ever worn. Back in the 1930s, Halloween looked a lot different. Obviously, they didn't have a Party City or Spirit Halloween where they could just go to and buy a costume from. No, costumes were often homemade, which makes them look terrifying. Look at this photo. These individuals are in Halloween costumes. I'm sorry, but who are they dressed up as? The women look terrifying with those weird masks on. I would freak out if I saw someone walking down the street dressed like that on Halloween. Like, those are some next level purge masks. They seriously give me the creeps. In our ninth spot, we have the exorcism of Annalise. Annalise was a devout Catholic woman who is said to have been possessed by 5 different demons. It all started one day when she blacked out at school and began walking around all dazed. She didn't remember anything. People around her said that she was in a trance-like state. Soon, these blackouts became more frequently. Things started to get worse and she started to convulse and hallucinate randomly. Eventually, she claimed that she saw the face of the devil and could hear demons whispering in her ears. In the end, she underwent 67 exorcisms, some lasting up to 4 hours. This photo of Annalise shows you in her possessed state. It's very creepy, and her story is honestly so disturbing and scary and sad. Moving on, at number 8, we have the mutated piglet. In 1986 in Ukraine, an accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant caused the reactor to explode. This explosion had lasting effects, and to this day, it's still considered the worst nuclear disaster. A lot of people and animals were affected by this. In fact, the animals that lived there in the late 1980s suffered tremendously from the nuclear waste. This is a picture of a mutated piglet. It was born with a deformity, believed to have been caused by its mother being exposed to the radiation. This pig is now on display at the Ukrainian National Chernobyl Museum, in case you wanted to go and see it up close. In our 7th spot, we have the wake. This photo was taken in around the 1920s during a wake for the man featured in the photo. Well, directly to the left of the photo by the 2 mourning individuals appears to be a ghostly apparition. Is this the deceased man still lingering over his body? Or is it another ghostly entity? Well, we don't know for sure. But what we do know is that this photo is very, very creepy. I mean, you can see the ghost as clear as day. Hopefully, it's just the man saying one last goodbye before going to the afterlife and not a demon. Coming in at number 6, we have the Mickey Mouse gas masks. Did you know that Walt Disney once designed a very creepy gas mask for children? Yeah. So, the use of chemical war during World War II made it so everyone would carry around a gas mask with them, just in case. So, in 1942, Mr. Disney himself invented a Mickey Mouse inspired gas mask. It was meant to calm terrified kids. Yes, I will repeat, this was meant to calm terrified kids. And clearly scare parents, because that seriously is nightmare fuel. Imagine seeing people walking around wearing those. No thank you. That's anything but comforting. Mickey looks like a demon. Anyways, with the help of the Sun Rubber Company, about 1,000 of these masks were made. They thought kids would be more inclined to wear them if they were in the shape of a fun-loving mouse. But in the end, they just turned out to be fairly creepy, like if you agree. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the expressionless. So this creepy looking mannequin thing is a dummy that nurses would use in training back in 1968. Okay, if I was a nurse and had to pretend that was my patient, bro, I'd quit. She looks terrifying. Anyways, that's all I could find about this dummy. Like, I'm not sure if they would practice CPR on her or what. But you may recognize this photo because it inspired the creepypasta called The Expressionless. So the creepypasta is fake, but the photo and the dummy is very much real. I swear, did they purposely make the dummy terrifying to scare the nurses or what? In our 4th spot, we have Gas Mask Island. About 110 miles south of Tokyo, Japan, there's a small island called Miyakijima, otherwise known as Gas Mask Island. How did it get its name? Well, this island is home to Mount Oyama, a very active volcano that emits poisonous sulfuric gas. So all of the residents have to carry gas masks with them at all time. just in case these gas levels rise unexpectedly. This photo shows the residents of the island wearing their gas masks. And I know what you're thinking. This photo looks like it came straight out of an end of the world horror movie. I agree, it's insane. You thought wearing medical masks was bad? Imagine wearing a gas mask around town. Would not be fun. Moving on to number 3, we have post-mortem photography. So back in the day, there was an interesting trend that people would follow, which was post-mortem photography, aka taking photos with a person who was recently deceased. So the woman in the middle of this photo has sadly passed away. So they did this for a number of reasons. It was a way to deal with their grief. It helped preserve the image of the loved one that passed away, and it was also a little memento. This trend became common in Victorian England when there was a rise in short lifespans for the young, which is sad. And in a way, this is a sweet way to preserve the memory of a loved one. But it's creepy. Hella creepy, you have to admit it. Coming in at number 2, we have the crucifixion. This creepy photo from 1890 Germany is of a woman who suffered from mental health issues. This was their method of treatment. They thought that this would cure her. Basically, they locked her in a cellar for 12 hours a day. For those 12 hours, she was changed up in the crucifixion pose. Apparently, this was supposed to cure her mental illness. Okay, I'm no psychologist or, doctor, but that alone would drive me insane and make everything worse. Now, this was done for a number of reasons. They thought that when you make someone pretend to be crucified, they will think, well, good thing I'm not actually being crucified. Hey, my life isn't that bad. Bingo, problem solved. No, honey, no, it does not work like that, I'm sorry. Starting off this countdown, we have the wildfires in Greece. Greece has been experiencing the worst forest fires the country has seen since 2007. In 2007, they hit record-breaking temperatures and experienced a terrible drought, which caused a number of fires to break out. As a result, 270,000 hectares of land was destroyed. And now it's happening all over again. Since early August of 2021, a number of wildfires have been threatening Greece. Thousands of people have evacuated. Dozens of homes have been destroyed, and thousands of miles of nature and wildlife have been destroyed. It's very devastating, and a part of why this is happening is climate change. We are experiencing hotter and drier weather conditions, which fires thrive in. This is very concerning to scientists. In our 9th spot, we have the hut on the moon. Just recently, China's Yutu-2 rover, which landed on the far side of the moon in 2019, has spotted a weird object lurking on the moon. On the horizon of the moon, it spotted a cube-shaped object that looks like a hut. So it was given the name the Mystery Hut. Images of this mystery hut have been uploaded online, and people believe that this is an alien-created structure. Even satellite images from above have picked up this hut as well. For now, the rover is headed closer to the hut to get a better look at it. But the rover isn't the fastest thing out there, so it's gonna take a couple of months to get there. That means, for months, we'll be wondering what the heck this structure is. Moving on to number 8, we have the toxic foam. You see all that white stuff floating in the water beside the people? No, this photo wasn't taken in a very cold country, and no, that is not ice or snow in the water. That is a highly polluted river in Delhi. It's so polluted that it's covered in a snow-like toxic foam. This was a result of illegal dumping of industrial waste and untreated sewage water. For years, the government has promised to clean the river, but they never have followed through with this promise. It's actually very dangerous to humans. That foam is very toxic. Again, this is a huge concern to scientists. It shows the destructive habits of humans, and we are now suffering the consequences. Moving on to number 7, we have the river filled with waste. Pollution is one of the biggest global killers. It's affecting over 100 million people. On top of that, over 1 million seabirds and 100,000 sea mammals are killed by pollution every year. Take a look at this next photo to understand the severity of this problem. This is the Lim River in Serbia. In January of 2021, heavy rain caused their waste systems to fail, and as a result, Serbia's rivers were flooded with waste. To clean all that up could take months, even years. And think of all the sea mammals affected by that waste. It's very depressing looking at this photo. Coming in at number 6, we have the body's location. Okay, let's take a break from all the depressing pollution and climate change talk and move on to something pretty eerie. Someone on Facebook posted that they found this on the underside of their desk. It reads, "The truth is under." This was written inside of one of the desk drawers. When you look under that desk drawer, it says, "The body lies at," and then it lists location coordinates. If you look up the coordinates, some sort of target range pops up from the satellite view. Now, someone actually emailed the county sheriff's office and they said their criminal investigations unit was working on it. He also warned people not to go out to the spot by themselves or at all. Apparently, a couple of years ago, there was this 4chan thread where a guy said that a prize was at a certain location and someone went out there and they were never seen again. So yeah. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the surfer. Here's another photo that sadly captures the world's pollution problem. This photo features surfer Didi Surinya catching a wave in Java, Indonesia. You can see instead of the water being crystal blue, it's filled with litter. Now, this place is said to be the world's most populated island. Not only that, but scientists have said that Indonesia has among the worst water quality in Asia. This is due to the fact that many cities don't have proper trash collection, so the waste ends up on the street or in the water, or it's on the street and then it gets blown into the water. Coming in at number 4, we have the flooding. A number of major cities are sinking due to sea levels rising and climate change. In a couple of years, these cities will be uninhabitable and largely underwater. Take Jakarta, Indonesia, for example. Jakarta is said to be the world's fastest sinking city. North Jakarta has sunk 2.5 meters in 10 years and is now sinking 25 centimeters a year in some parts. Research shows that by 2050, 95% of North Jakarta will be submerged underwater. In fact, currently almost half the city is now below sea level. Many buildings are already being flooded. They have tried to repair these buildings from the floods, but they just keep getting damaged from the floods. Now, the Indonesian government actually has a plan in place to move the capital to Java to protect the 10 million residents, but this move would take 10 years and cost $33 billion. But it's not just Jakarta at risk. Major places like New York, Florida, Fiji, New Orleans are also at risk as well. Coming in at number 3, we have the Yellow River in Mongolia. This river is so populated that it's almost impossible to breathe near it. It's also extremely hazardous to swim in or to drink. But here's the thing. It used to supply water to millions of people in the north of China, until recent years when it got polluted with factory discharge and sewage. 1/3 of China's Yellow River is now poisonous to drink. Only 16% of the water is safe. If things keep going this way, soon the entire water supply will be unsafe. In our second spot, we have the Amazon rainforest. Over the past 30 years, 15% of the Brazilian Amazon has been destroyed. This is very problematic because this forest alone supplies 20% of the world's oxygen. And nowadays, more and more parts of the rainforest are being burnt down or chopped down. The main cause of deforestation in the Amazon is the need for more farmland. A couple of years ago, cattle ranchers set the Amazon on fire to illegally clear land and then expend their business. Cattle ranching has caused 80% of the deforestation of the Amazon. However, because of climate change, the Amazon is getting drier. So when they burn down the land, it spreads uncontrollably. In 2019, almost 1 million hectares burnt down. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the Kenyan drought. Now, this is a very upsetting photo, but it showcases the reality of global warming and climate change. In December of 2021, a prolonged drought in northeast of Kenya caused the death of a number of animals and livestock. This is a photo of 6 giraffes who sadly passed away due to this destructive drought. The area only received 1/3 of normal rainfall since September. This photo really gets to me. Like, look how destructive humans are. Our actions are killing our home, this planet, and animals are suffering as a result.
Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have a pile of bones. During the 19th century, bison were hunted so much that they were actually quite close to being extinct, and by the mid-1880s, there were only a few hundred left. Hides were prepared and then shipped off so that they could be made into leather, but usually the bones, or really anything other than the hide, was just left to decay decay as it wasn't useful to the hunters. The hunting of bison was so widespread and overwhelming that even the US Army sanctioned and endorsed the slaughter of herds of bison. The federal government was promoting it for a variety of reasons, including to lessen a food and material source for the indigenous peoples. The US government was even paying a bounty for each bison skull, and military commanders were ordering troops to kill bison, not for them to eat, but just so that the indigenous couldn't. That story, coupled with the sheer mass amounts of skulls seen in this photo, is exactly what makes it so exceptionally unsettling. These bones would likely be on their way to become fertilizer. In our number 9 spot today, we have the great manta. In 1933, a New York silk manufacturer named A.L. Kahn was on a nice little vacation in Florida when he honestly accidentally caught something remarkable. His anchor line, by mistake, caught onto a giant manta ray. After a struggle and several hours, Kahn was able to get this actually enormous fish ashore. This monster was somewhere between 5,000 to 6,000 pounds and was 20 feet and 5 inches in width. For reference, there are other giant manta rays, but they usually grow to be around 13 to 14 feet wide, not 20 and a half. This photo is showing a taxidermy version of the fish which Kahn used to bring around to exhibitions to show off his accidental catch. In an article from the December 10th, 1933 issue of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch's Sunday magazine, Kahn is quoted as saying, quote, "Fishing is a lot of fun when you catch the fish. And sometimes it's fun even when you don't, but when the fish catches you." In our number 8 spot today, we have the swimsuits. This is a photo that comes to us from the 1920s, and it shows just one of the many extremely important jobs that the, quote, beach patrol of the day had. Yes, they went around measuring the length between a woman's knee and the bottom of her swimsuit because God forbid she showed too much leg at the beach. In the 1920s, bathing suits began to become something that went through changes and fads, and of course this evolution to more form-fitting, less material swimwear caused a lot of controversy in the day. There were then strict dress codes implemented at places like resorts and country clubs, and even directors of public beaches had them, thus the beach patrol. There were fines for violations and sometimes even imprisonment. In the Washington Post in 1907, there was a photo of 2 women in bathing suits being escorted by an officer with a caption, quote, "These apologies for skirts endanger the morals of the children. The police must interfere and stop the outrageous proceedings." In most cases, these sorts of rules really only affected the women of the time, and sometimes women were even required to wear stockings under their bathing suits. I'm just saying, with my attitude, I would have not done well in the 1920s. There was even one beach who had a tailor go around and stitch up swimsuits that they felt weren't up to the dress code. In our number 5 spot today, we have early plastic surgery. This photo, well, rather these 2 photos side by side, show a man named Walter Yeo, and he was the first person to receive the, at the time advanced, plastic surgery procedure called the skin flap. Sounds disgusting. He received this procedure in 1917, and at the time, since it was so advanced, it was only used for very serious things, like for someone who was wounded in battle, which is exactly what had happened to Walter. He was a soldier in the Battle of Jutland during the First World War. Walter was actually a sailor, and he was manning the guns aboard the HMS Warspite, and while doing this, he sustained facial injuries that included the loss of his upper and lower eyelids. In the end, he needed a couple more operations, but he was even able to return to service for a little while before being medically discharged. After this, he lived his life until he reached the age of 70 years old. In our number 4 spot today, we have the Hindenburg. This is a photo that was taken during what is now known as the Hindenburg disaster. It is commonly known that blimps, or these kinds of floating airships, use helium in them to float through the air, and it's important to note that this helium isn't the choice because it's the only option, but rather it's one of the safest options because it isn't extremely volatile. Because of a US ban on the exportation of helium at the time, i.e. the Helium Control Act of 1925, although the Hindenburg was designed to use helium, because of a lack of it available, on the day of the Hindenburg disaster, the much more flammable hydrogen was used instead. This led to a complete disaster. When the Hindenburg floated off on May 6, 1937, it disastrously caught fire during its flight with 97 people on board. Sadly, due to the fire, there were 35 casualties on board the flight that day. It is an absolutely horrendous situation, but it does teach us all a very valuable lesson. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Falls. This is a photo of Annie Edison Taylor when she was 63 years old in 1901. The barrel she is posing beside is the one that she sealed herself up inside of to then become the first person to survive a trip over Niagara Falls. Why did she do this? Well, for money, of course. Annie was widowed and spent a lot of time bouncing between different jobs, but after having been burned out of her home and losing money that she had invested with a clergyman, she ended up sadly falling on some hard times, and this is what led her to the falls. The barrel she used was custom made, and it was constructed of oak and iron and padded with a mattress. It wasn't exactly easy to get this whole plan set up, and it ended up being delayed several times, mostly because people were afraid to be a part of this mission that was likely sending Annie to her death, and I truly don't blame them at all. On October 24th, 1901, her 63rd birthday, Annie climbed in the barrel with her heart-shaped pillow and was set adrift. The river currents carried the barrel over the Canadian Horseshoe Falls, and rescuers reached her barrel shortly after. She was alive and escaped with little to no injuries aside from a gash on her head. While her survival is great news, it's important to include what Annie had to say about the entire situation after, which was, quote, "If it was with my dying breath, I would caution anyone against attempting the feat. I would sooner walk up to the mouth of a cannon knowing it was going to blow me to pieces than make another trip over the falls." So, don't try this at home, is what she's saying. In our number 2 spot today, we have War is Hell. This is a photo of a soldier that was taken during the Vietnam War. The soldier has a hand-scribed note on their helmet that reads, quote, "War is hell," and I truly cannot even imagine. In 1954, the US entered the war to support South Vietnam against the regime in North Vietnam, as well as their allies in the South. This war lasted for 2 decades and it claimed more than 3 million lives, mostly those of Vietnamese civilians. There are many powerful, disturbing, and unsettling photos from this war, many of which I would consider too graphic to put here on YouTube. There is something about the brightness of the eyes of the soldier that sits in contrast with the rest of this dark photo that really make it stand out. For a while, the identity of this soldier was left a mystery, but after some years, Fran Chafin Morrison revealed that the soldier was her late husband, Larry Wayne Chaffin. Larry served for a year in the 173rd Brigade, beginning in May 1965, and when this photo was taken, he was just 19 years old. He did end up being discharged from the army and was able to return home to his wife. He sadly ended up passing away at the young age of 39, thought to be because of complications due to the exposure to Agent Orange, but his legacy has lived on. There's an incredible photo of his grandson who looks strikingly similar to his grandfather, holding this exact portrait. In our number 1 spot today, we have the cross. This photo comes to us from 1960 and it shows Martin Luther King Jr. along with his infant son at the time removing a cross that had been burnt on his front lawn. This photo is important and powerful for quite a few reasons. Firstly, it's just a glimpse into what Mr. King would have dealt with every single day for many years. It is clear by his almost nonchalant look that this isn't something new or surprising. It's also important to note, however, that this look isn't one of acceptance or content, or of someone who is unbothered, but instead it's the look of someone who continually chooses to rise above, someone who chooses to remain calm and cool in the face of adversity, the leader of a movement. As a Reddit user, 1945 Best Year put so well, quote, "Here he's a father, a man with a family whose lives are being threatened. He isn't hysterical or obviously afraid, and his towering figure literally rooting out the undesirable foe has been done in any number of war propaganda posters, but he's still sympathetic. He deserves the security of knowing that home will be safe for his children like anybody else."